Shalom, Israel, Most High in Christ bless. Welcome back to another edition of 15 Minutes with the Captains. I'm Captain Josiah to my right.
Officer Hezekiah.
All right, so today's topic is, should I believe my wife? Should I believe my wife? All right. Romans 15:4. We'll start there.
The book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever thing were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
One more time.
For whatsoever thing were written aforetime were written for our learning.
So whatever is written in this Bible is written for our learning. Go ahead.
That we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
That we through comfort and patience of the scriptures might have hope. It is a faith builder, okay, to read and learn those things written aforetime and see how they apply to us now. Give me Genesis chapter 18, verse 9.
Book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 9. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee according to the time of life. Mm-hmm. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard it.
So this is the angel speaking to Abraham. So he says, and lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah what?
Heard it in the tent door.
So she in there being nosy, listen to men conversation, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
Which was behind him. Mm-hmm. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age.
Yep.
And it ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women.
Right. It says they were old and well stricken in age, and it ceased with Sarah after the manner of women. Go ahead.
Therefore Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also?
So she heard what the angel said, and she laughed within herself. Yeah, right.
Right.
Come on, man. Like, this ain't going to happen. Read on.
And the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child which am old?
So the angel says, hey, Abraham, why is she laughing? What's funny? Okay. Ain't nothing funny. What's she laughing? Read on.
Is anything too hard for the Lord? Mm-hmm. At the time appointed I will return unto thee, according to the time of life, and Sarah shall have a son.
Go ahead.
Then Sarah denied, saying.
Sarah did what?
Then Sarah denied, saying, I laugh not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh.
So Sarah denied, saying, what?
I laugh not.
She said, no, I didn't laugh, but she did. So guess what? Sarah lied out of fear. So guess what your wife might do? She might lie out of fear. If she's afraid of some sort of judgment or whatever the case, something might happen, she may lie. Okay? That's why Romans 15:4 says the things written is written for our learning. All right? So we got to, this situation happened. Should I believe her? I don't know, man. She might be lying out of fear. What may happen? She may be lying. You have to determine that in that situation. Okay? Read that last precept again. The last scripture.
It says, Then Sarah denied, saying, I laugh not, for she was afraid, and said, Nay, but thou didst laugh.
Right. The angel said, no, you did. Okay. I know what's going on up there. You did laugh. Okay. Give me Job. Job chapter 2. Verse 7.
Job chapter 2, verse 7. So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his feet unto his crown.
Damn. Read it again.
So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord.
Mm-hmm. So Satan got permission from God, okay, to bring judgment or trials and tribulation, I should say, upon Job. Read it again.
So went Satan forth from the presence of the Lord, and smote Job with sore boils from the sole of his foot unto his crown.
This brother had boils from the sole of his feet until the crown of his head. Damn. Read on.
And he took him a potsherd to
potsherd.
Potsherd.
Yep.
To scrape himself withal, and he sat down among the ashes.
Go ahead.
Then said his wife unto him, Dost thou still retain thy integrity? Curse God and die.
You see what she said? Do you still maintain your integrity? curse God and die. To hell with this. You see what's going on with you? God ain't protecting you. To hell with that. Read again.
Then said his wife unto him, dost thou still retain thy integrity?
Uh-huh.
Curse God and die.
Curse God and die. Read on.
But he said unto her, thou speakest as one of the foolish women speaketh.
You sound dumb as hell.
Right.
You speak like one of the foolish women. Go ahead.
What? Shall we receive good at the hand of God? And shall we not receive evil?
Shall we receive good and not evil? Okay. Job understood this. God is in control of everything. You mean to tell me because we were wealthy now all of a sudden I'm going through a little bit of trial, I'm supposed to turn my back? No. Read on.
And all this did not Job sin.
And all this did Job not sin what?
With his lips.
With his lips. He did not sin with his lips. Okay. But the woman, as soon as she saw something going wrong, her thoughts began to go off. Okay. So guess what can happen with your wife? She can go off too. Okay. Curse God and die. Dang. Give me the next one. Genesis 19, verse 17.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19, verse 17. And it came to pass when they had brought them forth abroad that he said, escape for thy life. Look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain.
One more time.
It says, and it came to pass when they had brought them forth abroad that he said, escape for thy life.
Yep.
Look not behind thee.
Look not behind thee. Look not behind thee. They were given specific instructions on what to do. Escape. Look not behind thee. Read on.
Neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed.
Right. Don't stay in the plain. Don't stay in this area over here. Go to the mountain. Jump down to verse 24.
Verse 24. Then the Lord rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from the Lord out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities, and thou which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him.
What did his wife do?
His wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt.
So now, his wife did not follow the instructions she was given. Okay? So guess what? Your wife can do the same thing. Our wives can do the same thing. You give specific instructions. Hey, boom, do this, do that. What's the first thing they do? They have their own thoughts. Oh, I want to do this. Okay. First thing she do, turn around looking back. Giving specific instructions on what to do, and she deviated from the plan. So guess what? Our wives can do the same thing. Okay. They can go off. First thing she do again, deviate from the plan. Romans 15:4 one more time.
The book of Romans, chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever thing were written aforetime were written for our learning.
So now, the things that we just read is written for our learning. Go ahead.
That we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope.
So we have to have patience through the scriptures and understand, okay, this sister, she might have this issue, that issue, different things got going on with them. Certain things we got to deal with, not just believe everything that come out of their mouth. You gotta read the history of the foremothers and see what happened, not only to the men and the women, and see, okay, is my wife doing the same thing? Not just run with whatever she say. Read it one more time, 15:4.
For whatsoever thing were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Yep.
That we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
Right, all praises. Deuteronomy 19. Verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 19, verse 15. One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity.
So now, all the men in the nation of Israel are being groomed to be judges, right? Judges, kings, and priests, and so forth. So this is talking about all of us. All of us have to put on this mindset. Read again.
One witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity.
It says, one witness shall not rise up against any man for any iniquity. Read on.
Or for any sin, in any sin that he sinneth.
Yep.
At the mouth of two witnesses or at the mouth of 3 witnesses shall the matter be established.
So guess what? The first thing that your wife comes and tells you, you cannot run with it. But that's my wife, brother. Yeah, I know. You have to apply this. 1 witness shall not rise up against any man for any iniquity. Okay? So something comes to you, you have to say, okay, you heard this. Okay, well, who else heard it? Who else saw it? Or show me the proof. Whatever the case. There has to be some evidence behind, not just her word. One more time.
1 witness shall not rise up against a man for any iniquity or for any sin.
Yep.
And any sin that he sinneth. At the mouth of 2 witnesses or at the mouth of 3 witnesses shall the matter be established.
Go ahead.
If a false witness rise up against any man to testify against him that which is wrong, then both the men between whom the controversy is shall stand before the Lord, before the priests and the judges, which shall be in those days.
Right. So oftentimes sisters may have issues with other sisters. You have to bring both parties there to sort the situation out. That's what it's saying. Not just you run with everything she says. Go ahead.
Verse 18. And the judges shall make diligent inquisition.
And the judges shall make diligent inquisition. Not just you standing there as a witness to what your wife says. You can't do that.
Right.
It says, and the judges shall make diligent inquisition. Go ahead.
And behold, if the witness be a false witness and have testified falsely against his brother,
go ahead.
Then shall ye do unto him as he hath thought to have done unto his brother.
Right. So there was a particular judgment for being a false witness. Okay. Whatever that penalty was for that crime that they were alleging, that judgment was put on them. Okay. That's what that's saying. All right. Genesis 3, verse 17.
Book of Genesis.
So we as, judges in Israel, we have to learn to regulate the things that come out of their mouth. Read.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 17. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife.
Go ahead.
And hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake.
Cursed is the ground for thy sake. Because he did what?
Hearken unto the voice of thy wife.
Because you listened to your wife and followed after her. Because you listened to her and you followed after her. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground of thy sake, and sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life.
Right. So he simped out. He simped out and he followed after her. Okay. He did not stick to the plan that the Most High gave him. All right. Give me the next one. 1 Timothy 3. So that the example that we read in Deuteronomy about, the judges and whatnot making diligent inquisition, that's primarily within the body. I use it, in correlation to something that happened in your house. But watch this.
1 Timothy 3, verse, what you want, 11?
5. 3 and 5. 1 Timothy 3 and 5.
Yes, sir. Verse 5. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God?
Yeah. One more time.
For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God?
So if you don't implement that in your own house, how what?
For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God?
Right. So again, if you can't apply those scriptures on how to be a righteous judge in your own house, you can't do it in the nation of Israel. So first thing that comes to your ear from her, you can't just run with it. Because what? You're going to do that in the congregation. And now she's going to be running the congregation through you. Okay? Or manipulating certain situations through you. That's what's going to happen. One more time.
For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God?
Yep. So you got to, as the scripture said in Romans 15:4, the things written aforetime were written for our learning. You got to see all the different spirits that our foremothers had on them, all the things that they did, they went wrong on, and see, is this my wife? Is she doing the same thing? You have to make diligent inquisition into those matters. All right. One more. 1 Peter 3.
1 Peter chapter 3, verse 7.
No, you know what? Give me Sirach 28. Sirach 28.
The book of Sirach, chapter 28,
verse 7.
Verse 7. Remember the commandment and bear no malice to thy neighbor. Remember the covenant of the highest, and wink at ignorance.
One more time.
Remember the commandment, and bear no malice to thy neighbor.
Yep.
Remember the covenant of the highest, and wink at ignorance.
It says, and wink at ignorance. Sometimes in certain situations, we have to wink at ignorance dealing with our wives. Some things we have to wink at ignorance. Not in terms of sins, but wink at ignorance. Why? 1 Peter 3.
Verse 6.
7.
Likewise.
Start at 6?
Okay.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay.
Even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord, whose daughters ye are, as long as ye do well and are not afraid with any amazement.
Go ahead.
Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge.
So now, this is the point. Likewise, ye husbands, do what?
Deal with them according to knowledge.
Dwell with them according to knowledge. Dwell with them according to knowledge. What knowledge? Everything that you read in the Bible. The things written aforetime was written for our learning. So again, you're not just running with the first thing she says. You're dwelling with her according to knowledge. You're trying to say, oh, is she lying out of fear? Right. Is she going off in her thoughts because now things are going not as we planned them to be? Is she going off? You understand? That's dwelling with them according to knowledge, and it's with the commandments. So like we read in terms of Deuteronomy 19, was it 19 or 17? 19. About diligent inquisition, okay? When she brings you something to you, you make diligent inquisition and find out, okay, is she being emotional? Let me see who else saw it, whatever the case may be. Right. You're dwelling with them according to knowledge. Read on.
Giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel.
Giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel. That's why I use the scripture wink at ignorance. Sometimes because they're the weaker vessel, they can go off. So some instances when it's not sin per se, we wink at ignorance. We don't hold everything, so hard against them. You understand?
Giving honor unto the wife.
From the top, okay. Likewise.
Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge. Giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel.
Yep.
And as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered.
Right. It says, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So some situations we have to show mercy to our wives, and, we got to build them up, okay? Not beat them down. So Lord willing, y'all got somebody to lesson with that. We say shalom.
Shalom.
We used to scream black power while Heron was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission, minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold, from Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are our men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.